Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any Watchbox watch. Reach out to me for pricing on any Watchbox watch on any Watchbox platform, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today we are discussing a spectacular and rare timepiece that I believe to have been created in the late 1980s by Ulysse Nardin during the early years of Rolf Schneider ownership. The timepiece is extraordinary, a dress watch 34 millimeters in diameter in rose gold. It measures only 7.9 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, only 39.5 millimeters with a very vintagey 18 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference, and you can see this watch is absolutely suitable for men and women. It's a unisex size. It is a traditionally sized dress watch, which means by the standards of the mid-20th century, this is exactly what par was considered. Now, by the 1980s, this was still considered to be a traditional and acceptable dress watch size. It wouldn't be until the 1990s that we consistently started seeing dress watches larger than 36 millimeters. So this 34 wears beautifully. And I'm not going to recommend a lower limit wrist size. This watch will fit on any wrist. The strap is considerably more modern than the watch. You can see it's a brand new Ulysse Nardin factory strap, calfskin on the bottom, large rectangular scale alligator leather in matte brown on the top. We have here a sheer cut side, a monotone stitch, and a little Ulysse Nardin pin buckle that you can see also features pre-1995 hallmarks that are a match for what you'll find on the case. Now, the first thing you need to know is that this is an inverted movement. So the dial proper with indices, Roman numerals, and hands is only visible when you flip up the hinged case. And you can see internally, Ulysse Nardin out of Le Locle. That is its city of origin, its longtime city of residence. A beautiful execution. The hinge profile is very similar to what you find in older watches from the coin watch genre, as well as a number of older Ulysse Nardin pocket watches. That is the origin of this hinged case design. But what's important is that in the modern era, as display case backs, movement finish and visible movements have become en vogue, Ulysse Nardin was ahead of the curve, deciding in the late 80s that it would simply invert the movement, put the dial on the underside of the watch, and then put the movement along with skeletonization and engraving on the top. So you can see what we have here is a 12 lean or 27.1 millimeter movement with a 3/4 rotor. It's neither a micro rotor nor a central rotor. It's a 3/4 rotor. The base movement is the Frédéric Piguet P71, which is an ultra-thin movement of 1970s origin by Frédéric Piguet, a manufacturer later associated with Blancpain. It is a high horology movement that's fairly large for the era from which it was originated. It is 2.4 millimeters thick, and certain features like the unidirectional winding and the open barrel help it to achieve that extraordinary thinness. Now, it also has a remarkable power reserve considering how spare it is. It's a normal 45-hour power reserve. It beats away at 6 beats per second. This particular version is 32 joule because it does away with some of the features of the standard movement, but it also gains considerably in fine finish as the rotor, the bridges, and the plates have all been extensively skeletonized, evacuated, and hand engraved. Not just skeletonized, but engraved. And you could see on the edge of every skeletonized component, there's also mirrored anglage. There are too many places to count on this watch where two bevels meet and form an interior angle. You can also see there's use of satination on the wheels, the regulator for the balance, and the components of the keyless works, which due to the inverted design of the watch are actually on the opposite side. You can see the motion works and the keyless works used for winding and setting. Those are all satinated, and their edges, though they're made of steel, have also been beveled. We have blackened leaf style hands. You can see the barrel is also open on the dial side, and it is spectacularly decorated with all of the screws black polished. You can see additional details of the movement's origin and tech specs written on the bridge flanking the barrel. So take note of that right there. An absolute spectacular piece, unparalleled really at this price. You're not getting anything like this from the likes of Vacheron Longa or Patek Philippe for less than 5, most likely less than 6 figures. This watch is a steal by comparison, as it's created with no less skill and no less exclusivity. 30 meters water resistant, so this is not an aquatic sports watch, but then again, you have other timepieces for that purpose. This is a work of art that you can take with you. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.